How much time?
Not enough.
Then we need to move faster.
Come on, come on!
Walls won't stop Trollocs. The only thing they fear is deep water. We need to cross the Tarrant immediately.
My son will be here soon, and then we can...
Twice that when we're safely on the other side. Have I not made myself clear?
Come, quickly now.
The riders of Fade. A Fade can force a Trolloc to do most things, but they won't cross that river. If you go back, you'll give them a way to follow us. I can't allow it.
My son is on his way already. He'll be there in a moment. You have to help me. We can't leave him. It's the only way to get my son across. You Aes Sedai, you monster!
Stop!
This will slow them, not stop them. We need to move fast.
Saidin, meanwhile, excels at shaping matter-breaking mountains, forging metals, repairing the very fabric of reality. When Rand fixes the seals on the Dark One's prison in the Gathering Storm, he uses Saidin to reforge the broken stone, to bind the cracks in the pattern, because Saidar lacks the raw tensile strength to hold such a fragile, cosmic structure together. They are not rivals, they are partners. Think of the pattern itself. The wheel turns, and Saidin and Saidar are the two hands that keep it spinning. To reduce one to male rage and the other to female calm is to ignore the countless examples of channelers who defy these stereotypes. Take Cadsuane Maladrin, the Aes Sedai who refuses to be cowed by Rand's power. She wields Saidar with a ferocity that makes even the dragon flinch. She once trapped Rand in a weave of air and spirit, not with gentle guidance, but with the same unyielding will he uses to command Saidin. Or take Logain Ablar, the former false dragon who, after being healed of the taint, channels Saidin with a quiet grace that surprises everyone. He doesn't grab the weave, he invites it, proving that Saidin's roughness was always a product of the taint, not the power. We also forget that both Saidin and Saidar are indifferent to morality. The power is a tool, no more good or evil than a sword. It is the channeler who gives a purpose. Ishamael, one of the Forsaken, wielded Saidin to destroy cities and corrupt souls, but Rand wielded the same power to save the world. Moghedien used Saidar to torture and manipulate, but Egwene used it to free the Damane and restore hope. The myth that Saidin is dark, or Saidar is light, comes from fear. Fear of the breaking, fear of what male channelers once were, fear of the unknown. But in the Wheel of Time, fear is always the first barrier to understanding. Let's end with the moment that most perfectly sums up Saidin and Saidar's true nature, when Rand and Egwene stand together in the Eye of the World, facing Baal-Zaman. Rand channels Saibim, a storm of fire and earth that shakes the ground. Egwene channels Saidar, a river of air and water that wraps around Rand's power, guiding it, tempering it, making it stronger. Together, their weaves merge into something neither could achieve alone, a blast of power that sends the Dark One's avatar reeling. That's the truth no one talks about. Saidin and Saidar are not just two halves of the one power. They are two halves of a greater truth. That strength comes not from dominance or submission, but from balance. To understand Saidin is to understand that power can be both fierce and controlled. To understand Saidar is to understand that power can be both gentle and unbreakable. And to understand both is to see the Wheel of Time universe not as a battle between male and female, but as a symphony, one where every note, every thread of the weave matters. So the next time someone tells you Saidin is chaotic or Saidar is weak, remember Rand's first channeling, Nynaeve's healing, Egwene's fire. Remember the way their powers dance together, not against each other. Remember that the one power is not a thing to be feared or simplified. It is a mystery to be unraveled, a gift to be honored, and a reminder that even the most divided parts of the world can come together to create something extraordinary. Your perspective on Saidin and Saidar won't just change. You'll wonder how you ever saw them as anything less than two sides of the same awe-inspiring coin. That moment, in the eye of the world, Rand's Saidin-fueled storm, wrapped in Egwene's Saidar River, was no accident. It was a glimpse of the one power's true face, a reminder that the divide we see is not a flaw in the power itself, but a fog in our understanding. The cosmic dance of Saidin and Saidar begins with a non-negotiable truth. There is only one power, woven by the Creator into the fabric of the weave, and it splits into two halves not out of opposition, but out of necessity. Saidin and Saidar are not rivals, they are partners. Two hands clapping to make a sound neither could produce alone. Consider Rand al'Thor's revelation in The Winter's Heart, when he finally purifies Saidin of the Dark One's taint. For the first time, he feels the power without its poison. A raw, steady force that responds not to rage, but to focus. A force that mirrors the quiet precision of Saidar he'd seen in Egwene and Nynaeve. He realizes then what Luz Theron Telamon, the dragon reborn before him, might have known too. Saidin does not want to destroy. It wants to build, to mend, to shape, just as Saidar wants to nurture, to heal, to connect. The two halves share the same core. They just speak to the weave in different tongues. Why then does the world of the Wheel of Time treat them as polar opposites? The answer lies in three shadows: taint, tradition, and gendered misunderstanding. The taint came first, a scar left by the Dark One during the breaking of the world. When male channelers began to go ape-wen, mountains crumbled and rivers ran red at their hands. The world did not see a corrupted tool. It saw Saidin itself as evil. In the eye of the world, Rand's own father, Tam, warns him of men who touch the power, as if they are monsters, a fear passed down through generations like a curse. Tradition deepened the divide. The White Tower, the primary keeper of knowledge about the one power for centuries, is led by Aes Sedai, who channels Saidar, and for millennia, it taught that Saidin was a danger to be contained, not understood. Khazwan Maladrin, one of the tower's oldest and most formidable Aes Sedai, initially approaches Rand not as a fellow channeler, but as a threat, believing his command of Saidin requires her to tame him, a mindset rooted in tradition, not truth. Gendered assumptions sealed the gap. People looked at Saidin's raw strength and labeled it male, at Saidar's attunement and called it female, then twisted those labels into stereotypes. Saidin is chaotic and violent. Saidar is calm and weak. But Nynaeve Almira shatters that lie every time she wields Saidar to break through enemy lines or heal wounds no one else can, her power burning as fiercely as any Saidin storm. Logain Ablar, once a false dragon cursed by the taint, proves the opposite when he channels Saidin after being healed. His movements gentle, his weaves precise, a living rebuke to the idea that Saidin is inherently brutal. Understanding this distinction, that Saidin and Saidar are two halves of one whole, not separate forces, is not just a matter of knowledge. It is the key to saving the Wheel of Time itself. Rand's journey is a masterclass in why this matters. He spends years fearing Saidin, rejecting it, believing the world's lies that it will turn him into a monster. It is only when he accepts that Saidin is part of him, and part of the One Power's balance, that he can purify it, that he can stand against the Dark One. Egwene Al'Vir, too, recognizes this truth as Amerlin's seat. She works to bridge the gap between male and female channelers, arguing that the White Tower cannot win the last battle alone, that they need the strength of Saidin as much as Saidar. In A Memory of Light, When a small band of male channelers joins Aes Sedai to defend Shael Ghul, their combined weaves Saidin's structure and Saidar's flow, create a barrier that even the Forsaken cannot break. Without that understanding, the pattern would unravel. The breaking of the world happened